The conspiracy deepens. They deny it still.
Wake the fuck up!
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Yeah.
Because it's the most far out there theory that the best player right now cheats every single time he clicks his mouse with an enemy on the screen, and yet nobody can even find this guy. No one can even crack anything about this guy. There's not even a single investigative journalist in the world that has a lead on this guy and is going to catch him. Whereas, by the way, I know we don't have Pulitzer Prizes, but if you could break the story that Simple is cheating all the time, you will be a motherfucking legend in this industry and you will be remembered forever. So if you think there's no incentive for people out there to find this out, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, you think...
Dude, nobody is investigating this shit. And you want to know how I know? Because the players are still allowed to bring their own equipment. And nobody's even talking about it. I mean, that was your main argument before when you tried to dismiss everything that I had to say, was the fact that, oh, they get brand new peripherals at every tournament. You're wrong. They don't. They bring their own equipment. And then both of you are going to sit there and act like that's not a problem now. None of these tournaments are secure if the players are allowed to bring their own equipment. Period. The anti-cheats that you have in place are not going to stop a private cheat designed for LAN. So, the potential for cheats being there is absolutely there, 100%. Now, as far as proving that everybody is cheating, that's what I try to do with the whole aimbot anomalies thing, and forget all that. Forget all of the anomalies right now. I've got one simple concept that if you understand, you're going to see that everybody's fucking cheating. And I mentioned this concept in a previous video that pretty much got dismissed because it was about Kenny S, but it's crouch adjustments. And what these crouch adjustments are is people aiming at their target and then taking the time to not shoot at the target, but aim above their target's head, so when they crouch, they're now aimed at the target's head. This is highly impractical, and nobody has ever fucking talked about doing this shit, so you can't say that it's something that people do legit, and you can't say that this is some sort of demo bug. At the very beginning of that Kenny S video, this is what I mentioned. Okay, so starting off right here, he's going to aim at the guy up on plat, and then he's going to aim down at the guy going to stairs, and he's going to aim off of him. The reason he aims off of him is because his aim is adjusting to crouch, which is something else that I haven't really talked about, and I can point it out more in the future if y'all want me to, because I see it quite a bit where the crosshair adjusts above the target's head right before they crouch, so when they do crouch, their crosshair's at the target's head instead of at his chest or his stomach. Now, I've been aware of this for well over a year. I just decided for various reasons not to bring it to anybody's attention, really. I just kind of briefly mentioned it in that Kenny S video, but I think now's the time. And again, what I'm trying to point out in this clip and any clip that follows is the fact that these people are aiming above their targets, so when they crouch, they're aimed on their target's head. And sometimes they aim at the target before they aim above the target, just like in this Kenny S clip. Which is even more sketchy because they're pre-aiming their crouch positions. Now, I've got a theory as to why this is happening. I think these high-level cheats have implemented an aim key in these weapon switches and these crouch adjustments, so that if you run out of ammo mid-fight and you have to switch your weapon, or if you crouch during your fight, your crosshair is going to be automatically dragged to the target. And as far as examples go, I can give you examples of this happening behind smokes, after flashes, during flashes, in the middle of a fight, right before they start shooting at targets. I can show examples of all of these things.
All my life I've barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting. My birth, it is an omen. Lay me down up in the ocean until you see no motion. Right now.
This example shows an adjustment mid-fight. While Edward's shooting his second shot, he's adjusting above the target's head and actually drawing a circle while he's doing this adjustment as he's being shot with no armor.
Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down.
This clip has two of these crouching adjustments. We got one after the initial shot and one after he's done spraying his gun. The second one is extremely blatant if you understand what you're looking at. Because not only did Nico time his shot as he crouched after he pre-aimed his target after he sprayed his weapon, but he also waited the exact moment that his recoil had been reset on his gun to do the crouching adjustment. If you set view recoil tracking to 1, you see the shot vector, which is what this guy's aiming at while he's maintaining the recoil of the gun. After he's done shooting his weapon, you'll notice that the crosshair almost floats back down to the target. What this is the recoil decay. This is the recoil of the gun resetting because Nico is 11 shots in. And immediately after that recoil is done resetting, he starts aiming above the target, and we have one of these crouch adjustments that I'm talking about.
Cut off the extremities. I'll never be another piece in your recipe for social supremacy. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in?
Here you're going to see a crouching adjustment between the second and third shot. And remember, this is strictly the mouse movement, so he's supposedly shooting his first 2 shots, stops, aims above the target so that when he crouches, his third shot would have been a headshot. And remember, this is 20% of the game speed. As soon as nothing steps around the corner, he's already aiming above the guy's head, and he supposedly times the crouch with the shot. But like I said, I think this is an aim key that will more or less force the shot if it has a chance. Here's a crouch adjustment mid-fight where Tarek is supposedly spamming his pistol and takes the time between his last few shots to actually aim above the target so that he could crouch and hit a headshot at the same time. And doesn't check up whatsoever, he's spamming his pistol the entire time. In this example, you're going to see Xantares aim above his target, and there's a very quick adjustment right before he crouches, so that when he crouches, again, he hits his headshot. Which you're going to be able to see a little better if I zoom it in.
Bodies, but nothing but silence. Yeah, I'm quiet, but fuck all that shyness. Go crazy, turn this bitch into an asylum. You fly, but we ain't looking for pilots. I never bow down to a tyrant, it's highness. Even Jack said, fuck all them giants. What goes up comes down, man, that's basic science. Look at my iris and you'll see the fines. I'd rather not.
This time, he immediately aims above his head after the first shot, crouches and times the headshot again, and then you see his crosshair snap back to his target as soon as he uncrouches.
Yeah, your head good, but your mind fucked. Super damn clear, Uber everywhere. This sound like Superman is here. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now?
This example shows an adjustment before he crouches and before he uncrouches. And of course, times it again to get the headshot.
Don't touch the ball, it's over. Call it close, but we all know what this is gonna be. You came and failed the test, you met the best, expected chess, but got monopoly. I came and bought you out, I knocked you out, I cropped you out with no apologies. I am the hope, the heart, the faith, the spark, the one who will fulfill the prophecy.
Now I want to point something else out. This is what it looks like when you crouch in Counter-Strike. A simple up and down motion, right? You'll notice that during these crouching adjustments, these players are maintaining their crosshair placement more or less. They're aiming at a spot, then aiming above that spot so when they crouch, they're aiming at the same spot. And the examples I've shown so far have all been pretty much during a gunfight. And I can show you examples of this where they're just by themselves, crouching for absolutely no reason, and they're still doing this weird crosshair placement where they're moving their mouse up before they crouch and back down before they uncrouch so that they're maintaining their crosshair placement more or less. Now the reason that you crouch in CSGO is to eliminate the movement inaccuracy. It puts you at 34% of your weapon speed so that you can move around and you don't have to worry about being inaccurate because of your movement. There's absolutely no reason that he should be standing there just randomly crouching over and over again. If anything, that's going to mess his timing up if somebody steps around the corner. So why would he be doing this? Well, if my theory is correct and crouching is an aim key, crouching over and over like this randomly could be triggering an aim key, and he's waiting on his crosshair to get nudged a certain way to see if there's a target around.
Ready? Hey! Let's go! Bet! Yo, once again I'm back around. Real shit back in style. Haters reconcile. I'm so black and proud. First class tickets now. Feet all in the eye. Everybody looking down. Everybody get red when you brown, huh? Look at me up. I'm putting it down. You picking it up. Checking the models. They want us to go to college just so we can be stuck. Go to school to make a living. Or teach yourself to make a fortune. Common sense. Welcome to the apocalypse. Bitch, I'm one of the horsemen. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning. Cause I'm at my prime. Yeah, I'm at my I'm at my prime. Whoa. Have I gone too far? Do you detect something different? If you look inside my head, would you say something's missing? If you could give all your riches just to say the word, would you risk it? These politicians so old, can't tell if the dead where they living. Better ask Kathy Griffin. You know I like to raise stakes. We was always taught to hit the gas, we ain't even know they made breaks. We control our own fate, watching dreams take shape. Try to keep us out, we gon' freak out, turn this bitch to Watergate. I don't need your mandate, don't need you to elevate. I'm about to detonate, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Said I'm at my prime. We at our prime. Hey, hey, we at our prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Hey, hey, I'm at my prime. Whoa. Said I'm at my prime. Yeah.
And I can also show you where these things happen instantly. When he uncrouches, his crosshair instantly snaps to the target.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow. Turn me up a little more. I'm setting traps, I'm alone. You know you whack, I'm a maniac. Boy, you know I'm black to the bone. Pick a place, nigga, pick a date. I go cool, pick a low.
And we have basically the same thing right here, except this time it happens when he crouches.
You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh? Give me that, where the city at? Nitty gritty, this ain't gonna be pretty jack. Not afraid, get about the way y'all used to hate. Look at what you made. When it all goes down, I'ma run this town. Fire in my soul, got my...
This example has Flecha crouching in midair, but at the same time he's also shooting his weapon. And I don't know whether this adjustment is a crouch adjustment, or what I would call an afterlock. But the point is that the crosshair immediately jumps to the target. And this brings me to the next part of the video. Back in 2014 when the whole CSGO cheating scandal happened, some of the code that was used in the private cheat was actually leaked to the public, and you can see in here that you can set a key to make the aimbot force a headshot. It also shows a few different ways that you can customize the aimbot to give it a certain percentage chance of forcing a shot to the target. You can make the aim assistance force shots randomly through certain shots. You can choose which shots to turn the aim assist on and off. You can pause the aim assist. And again, this is back in 2014. Right now this is 2019. So just imagine how much more sophisticated this thing has gotten. So like I've said before, I think that these high level cheats have multiple aim keys and they're incorporated in various different things, such as crouching and weapon switches, because these are things that you do during a fight. So if you set one of these aim keys to your crouch key, and you force a headshot every time you crouch, you have more of a chance to kill that target when you crouch and you spray your weapon, which is something that you're going to do naturally. And another way that they can activate the aimbot is just by moving their mouse, which is something that Supex0 brought up in his interview with CSGO Demo Reviews.
Often when his opponents die, you can see that his crosshair is going slightly left and right, and this kind of reminds me of an aim assist that only turns on when you move your mouse, so it smooths out your aim mistakes.
So if crouching forces a headshot while your aimbot is active, I think that would explain some of these clips that I'm about to show you. Like right here for instance, shaking his mouse up and down the way he is might be activating the aimbot, and then him crouching actually forces his aimbot to the target. This is a way that players could be gathering information, and they don't necessarily have to have a dedicated aim key, which again would be something that's blatant and could be traced back if they were using some sort of keylogger or something. The rest of these clips pretty much follow the same idea, that their aimbot's been activated and crouching is forcing their crosshair to the target. Looking at the shot vector here with view recoil tracking set to 1, you can see the crouching adjustment at the 5th shot, and he also transfers to a new target once he steps around the corner by accident because he uncrouches. And you can find these kinds of things if you go search back through Vax Sucks. It's just that people didn't really understand what they were looking at, so they didn't know to point any of this out. But if you go back and look through Vax Sucks and you go back and look through my videos, you're gonna see this stuff.
Vacation какой-то сработал. Можно.
On musi Michał tego dokonać, musi tego zdobyć. Jest z zony flash, ale Michał